Good morning, dear students. I am Miss Vandana Pai. In today's lecture of the subject Principles of Business Management, we will be discussing the content 14 Principles of Management. Okay, and the 14 Principles of Management, they play a very important role into our organization. Okay, as a manager, we are required to follow many of these principles. Okay, not exactly all the 14 principles they are followed in modern business, but many of the principles they are followed into our modern businesses. So what are these principles? Let's see in detail in today's lecture. Okay, 14 principles of management, they are laid down by famous thinker Henry Fayol. Okay, now whenever we consider the thinkers related to management, okay, first we will see who was Henry Fayol, and then we will see the contribution given by Henry Fayol into the management studies. Okay, so who was Henry Fayol? Henry Fayol was born in Istanbul in 1841. When he was 19, he began working as an engineer at a large mining company in France. He eventually became the director at a time when the mining company employed more than 1,000 people. Through the years, Fayol began to develop what he considered to be the 14 most important principles of management. Essentially, these explain how managers should organize how the manager should organize and interact with the staff. In 1916, 2 years before he stepped down as director, he published his 14 Principles of Management in his book Administration Industrially et Generally. Fayol also created a list of 6 primary functions of management which go in hand with the principles, this 14 principles. Okay, Fayol's 14 principles was one of the earliest theories of management to be created and remains one of the most comprehensive. He is considered to be among the most influential contributors to the modern concept of management. Even though people don't refer to the 14 principles often today, the theory falls under the administrative management school of thought as opposed to the scientific management school led by Frederick Taylor. Okay, so whenever we consider Fayol's 14 principles of management, okay, all these 14 principles of management, they are not followed, but many of the principles they are followed into our modern businesses. Okay, so one by one we will be going through the principles of management. Okay, first principle of management is division of work. Okay, division of work. What is division of work? Yes, as the title itself suggests. Okay, divide the work into small pieces. Okay, divide the work into small pieces, that is division of work. Okay, so what is done into this? See, a whole task, it is divided into small pieces. Okay, the whole task is divided into small pieces, and those pieces they are assigned to the workers or the laborers or the employees as per their specifications, as per their specializations or interest areas. Okay, why to do this? Why to break the work into pieces? Yes, if you think that the employees, they should give their 100% devotion and dedication towards the work. Okay, they should be giving their 100% efforts towards the work, then surely what you should be doing? Yes, okay, if there is a task, you should break that task into equal pieces. Yes, and distribute that pieces among the employees. Okay, due to this, what will happen? Okay, there will be, yes, specialization into work, and even the employees, they will feel satisfied whenever they are accomplishing the task. Okay, so this was the first principle, that is division of work. Okay, means break the work into small pieces, or break the work into small tasks, and assign that task to the employees. Okay, then it is authority. What authority means? Yes, manager. Okay, manager is an important factor into your organization. This M plays a very important role into organization in modern times. Okay, now what this manager is supposed to do? Yes, manager is supposed to give orders in favor of the subordinates. Okay, whenever we consider subordinates at the time, okay, if you think that the subordinate should complete the task in the given time, yes, you are required to issue orders, right? You are required to issue orders, and this issuing order, it is included in the authority whichever you assign to the manager. Okay, now authority never comes single-handedly. Okay, the authority never comes single-handedly. Okay, authority is always backed up with responsibility. Okay, so whenever we consider authority, this principle, yes, manager is required to, yes, practice authority, that is, he is required to issue orders, okay, to get work done from the subordinates, as well as he is required to shoulder all the responsibility which is related to the orders. For example, if he is assigning a task to the employee, then always, okay, he should be caring about the subordinates. Is it? Means whatsoever order he issues for the subordinate, so that the work done by the employee, by the subordinate, will be completed in time. Okay, with this you should always care about the health of the employee. Okay, and always be also caring about the facilities which you provide to the employees. Is it? If you don't provide facilities to the employees, and only you ensure that the work should be done in time, okay, it is not ethical. So always, okay, whenever you issue orders, you should always be responsible towards the employees. Okay, this is the principle of authority. Third principle of management is discipline. Yes, discipline is crucial or very important from your organization viewpoint. What is discipline? Yes, discipline ensures doing the task in a proper manner. Yes, your organization has a list of do's and don'ts, right? Your organization has a list of do's and don'ts. Okay, some of the things, they should not be done by the employees, and some of the things they must be done by the employees. Okay, so these do's and don'ts, they are included in discipline. Is it? So discipline must be upheld in organizations, but methods for doing so can vary. Okay, now discipline, it varies, it differs from organization to organization. Okay, whenever we consider any organization at the time, okay, the discipline may vary. Okay, the do's and don'ts policies of your organization, okay, though they are whenever we compare two organization, okay, they are, okay, though they are working in the same product line, still their discipline rules might differ, because, okay, the discipline rule they are dependent on your culture, your organization culture. So ensure that your employees, they do follow this do's and don'ts list, okay, so that your organization's goals will be accomplished in time. Okay, next principle of management is unity of command. Okay, unity of command. What is unity? Unity means oneness. And what is command? Command means yes, who commands? The manager or the superior, he commands. Okay, now whenever we consider unity of command, what is done into unity of command, or what this principle ensures? Yes, employee should have only one direct supervisor. Okay, means a subordinate should be having only one superior. Okay, why? Okay, see, if each subordinate has only one superior, okay, so he will be clear with that. Okay, what will be he cleared with? Okay, he will be clear that, okay, whom he is answerable. Okay, if there are certain mistakes or errors into his task. Okay, yes, actually the errors and mistakes into the task, it is not needed, or it is not it is never entertained by the organization, but still, okay, if there are certain problems into the task, this person, the subordinate, he should be knowing whom he can approach for such type of problems. Okay, or who will be directing him? Is it whom he is answerable? Okay, so unity of command means one subordinate, one superior, this concept. Okay, then unity of direction. What is unity of direction? Unity of direction means, okay, see, whenever we consider organizations, at the time, yes, it is a teamwork, right? It is teamwork. Okay, now whenever we consider different teams, okay, for completion of certain projects, you do form teams. Okay, teams of employees. Okay, teams of employees having diverse culture, having different behavior patterns. Okay, now the manager, he should always chalk out a plan. Okay, he should always chalk out or draft a plan. Okay, what is that plan? Okay, plan means just a track through which you can direct your employees towards organization goals. Okay, now whenever we consider unity of direction means what? Okay, you should be issuing a plan, you should be issuing a track to the employees or to this team towards your organization goals. Okay, so if you issue alternative plans, if you do have 2 or 3 plans, then what will happen? Okay, and if you communicate all these 2 or 3 plans to the team, yes, the team will be confused. Okay, and the purpose for which you have built the team, that purpose will not be accomplished. So always there should be unity of direction. Okay, then subordination of individual interest to the general interest. Okay, subordination means supplementation actually. Okay, individual interest means interest of the individuals who are working with you. Okay, or what we can call it? Okay, we can call it as a individual goal. Okay, general interest means interest of your organization, or it might be group goals. Okay, or your organization's goals. Okay, now see what the title says: subordination of individual interest to the general interest. Okay, now whenever you are directing your subordinates, always you should communicate your individuals or the employees that, okay, first, okay, priority should be given to the group goals. Okay, always whenever you are communicating with your subordinates, okay, how you should be communicating? Yes, first preference or priority should be given to the organization goals, and then the priority should be given to your individual goals. Okay, why to do this? Yes, somewhere the individual goals, they are related to group goals. Okay, and if the group goals are accomplished, then surely your individual goals will also be, yes, accomplished through it. Okay, so subordination of individual interest to the general interest, what it means? It means that, yes, first prefer or prioritize the general interest, and then you should look after the individual interest. Okay, then remuneration. Okay, remuneration, a commonly used word, okay, which means compensation. Yes, compensation, which might be financial or not financial. Okay, now the remuneration, how the remuneration should be. Okay, now when we pay remuneration, when we give remuneration, yes, if we ask the employee to work for us, okay, if we ask the employee to accomplish the task of our organization, yes, we are liable to pay him compensation. Yes, we are liable to pay him compensation, and that compensation itself is the remuneration. Now, how much remuneration you should be paying to the employee? Yes, it depends on what task you have assigned to that person. Okay, now you have assigned task to the person, right? Okay, now you have assigned the task to that person. Based on that task, okay, calculate the fair remuneration. Okay, for that task, how much fair remuneration you can charge for. Okay, now whenever we consider fair remuneration, what is fair remuneration all about? Okay, fair remuneration itself means, okay, after paying that remuneration or after getting the remuneration, whether the employee will feel satisfied or not. Okay, that much should be the amount of remuneration. Okay, so whenever you are deciding the remuneration, it should be that fair. Then centralization. What is centralization? Okay. Centralization means, okay, some of the decision making. Okay, some of the decision making, it is done only by the top management. Okay, now some of the important decision making or some of the important decisions related to the organization, they are only finalized by the top management. Okay, and some of the less important decisions or some of the decisions, they can be decentralized, but some of the decisions of the organization, they should be, okay, preferably finalized by the top management itself. Okay, top management some of the time they don't delegate this authority. Okay, so what is centralization? Centralization itself means, okay, the finalization of some of the decisions, they are done by the, yes, by the top management itself. Then scalar chain. What is scalar chain? Okay, yes, employee should be aware of where they stand in the organization's hierarchy or chain of command. Okay, now see, whenever we consider any organization, every individual, every employee, he has his position into that organization. Okay, it might be classified as lower level, middle level and top level. Okay, see, there are 3 levels of management, right? Okay, which are the three levels of management? Lower level of management, middle level of management, and top level of management. Now, each person who is included in lower level, middle level, or top level, they do have position in the organization. They do have position into the organization. For example, okay, whenever we consider any organization, any office, okay, there might be certain peons who are working in that office. There might be certain clerks who are working in the office. Okay, there might be some of the officers who are working in the office. Okay, now whenever we consider the hierarchy of positions of these three people, okay, for example, we have taken these three people. Okay, there are many more employees who are associated with the offices actually, but for our understanding we have taken this example. Okay, now whenever we consider the positions, okay, at lower level, who is it? Peon. Okay, after the peon, who has the position? Clerk. Okay, after the clerk, who is the who has the senior position? Yes, it is the officer. Okay, so if you want to okay, if there are two departments, and each of these two departments, they have same number of staff. For example, same peon, clerk, officer. Okay, in the another department, there is also a peon, a clerk, and an officer. Okay, now if a peon from A department want to pass some of the message to peon of B department, then under scalar chain, what is expected to be done? Okay, he will communicate the clerk will communicate the officer will speak up with officer of other department, then that officer will share that message to clerk, and the clerk will share that message to the peon. Okay, so whenever you are passing the messages under the scalar chain, what you should be doing? Yes, you should follow this hierarchy. Means any message, any communication, whichever you want to do formally with another staff, okay, you should follow, yes, superiority chain. You should follow this superiority chain. Okay, and you should seek certain permissions. Through that permission or through this protocol itself, you will pass the message to that person. Okay, this is important in scalar chain. Okay, then it is order. What order means? Order means a right person should be placed at right job, and a right thing should be placed at the right place. Okay, now whenever we consider this principle, order means what? Ensuring that right person is given the right job. Okay, as per the interest, as per the specifications, as per the specializations of that person, as per the specialization, capability, ability, and interest of the person, assign him the task of your organization which is best suitable to him. Okay, if you offer that person with the task in which he does have interest, what will happen? Yes, he will give his 100% devotion towards accomplishment of that work, right? Okay, if you assign a work in which he doesn't have any interest, in which he has least interest, or he has never worked into that field, if you assign a work to that person and you ensure that, okay, or you assured, or you were thinking that that person will complete that work properly, okay, what do you think? Will that task be completed in proper manner? No. Why? Because that person was not having any interest into that task. So just without putting any type of efforts, okay, just he completed that task and assigned it to you, or forwarded that task to you. Okay, this was the expected behavior. But if you provide that person with a task in which he has an interest, surely he will use his skill to mark that work differently. Okay, so always the organization should ensure that you place right kind of person in the right position. Okay, then equity, principle of equity. What is the principle of equity? Principle of equity means that, okay, equality or impartialness. Okay, whenever you are assigning the job, assigning the task, or whenever you are finalizing the decisions related to the employees, as a manager you should always be fair and impartial. Okay, through your decision, no one from your staff, no one no one from your subordinates, okay, team, they should be affected. Okay, you should finalize the decision in that way that each person, okay, each person, each subordinate will be benefited equally. Okay, no one from the subordinate should be more benefited and no one from the subordinates team, they should be affected. Is it? So principle of equality or principle of equity, it ensures that the manager will be impartial into his decisions. Then stability of tenure of personnel. Stability of tenure of personnel, what it means? Okay, means, okay, assurance given by the manager to the subordinate. What is that assurance? Assurance related to, okay, his job. Okay, assurance related to his job. Okay, now stability of tenure means stability of time duration for which that person will be continued with the job. Okay, why this type of assurance should be given? Yes, to ensure that there will be least employee turnover into your organization. Is it? Okay, so always you should, okay, always you should give the confirmation to your staff, confirmation to your employees that yes, we will continue you for the same job, is it, in the near future also. Okay, so that there will be no turnover. Turnover means what? Okay, switching over of the job. Okay, if you are not able to assure your employees that you will be continuing your employees for longer period, okay, in the next coming period of the organization, then what they will do? Yes, they will switch over, they will select another job, right? They will quit your job and they will select another job. This is stability of tenure of personnel. Okay, then initiative means, okay, chance or opportunity given to the employee to take lead. Okay, now see, the employees, whenever they are working with you, they have certain creativity or they have certain creative ability, right? Okay, so as an employee, that person is also concerned with your organization. Okay, and he always strives to work harder, to use his creativity or innovations or new ideas into accomplishment of task. Okay, so at this time, at this point of time, yes, the employer or the management, should always, yes, give this person a fair opportunity to mark his creativity into the work. Is it? Then it is esprit de corps. Esprit de corps, what it means? Esprit de corps means unity is strength. Okay, unity is strength. Your organization, in your organization, always there should be cooperation and unity into the efforts. Okay, you should be always known by the team spirit. Okay, the team spirit prevailing into your organization should always be strong. Is it? So Organization should always strive to promote team spirit and unity into the organization. Okay, there should be always oneness, cooperation, so that you can easily accomplish the group goals of the organization. So with this, we conclude 14 principles of management laid down by Henry Fayol. Thank you.